Hey everybody, welcome to the next edition of My Chamber TV. Yes, we are today we're at Tarpon Woods. Is it Golf and Country Club?
Tarpon Woods Golf Club.
Golf Club, right? Okay, so and we have the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce today, but and our first guest, I've eaten your food before you were here, which was absolutely awesome, right? It's Patriot's Barbecue. I mean, yeah. That was Patriot's Barbecue. Yeah. It's Patriot's Bar and Grill, right?
Patriot's Bar and Grill.
So what brought you to the wonderful Tarpon Woods area?
Well, of course, when I had Frankie's Patriot Barbecue up in Tarpon, we had a great following up here. And it just so happens that Jan Stephenson and Mike Van Diver, who own the club here, it's the Jan Stephenson Foundation. Mm-hmm. We've been good friends. They've had a couple events here for Gold Star Fathers, Military Order of the Purple Heart, which I'm a member of both, and several veteran organizations and whatnot. So we had a good friendship to begin with, and they needed somebody to come in here and take the restaurant over and make it into a winner.
Right.
And so with my, basically a pretty good reputation in the area for having good barbecue, good brisket, good ribs, good chicken, the whole 9 yards.
There wasn't anything bad that you guys had.
Yeah, well,
and we tried it all. I know for a fact that it was just all good.
Thank you very much. But we sat down, Mike and I and Jan, and I became the managing partner of what is now Patriot's Bar and Grill, and we've done very, very well so far. So that was the genesis of it, and now it's all onward and upward, and the bell curve is going this way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, but there's a big story behind the reason you do what you do.
Yeah. I lost my son in the war, 16 July 2011. Memorial Day is every day,
right,
for a Gold Star family.
Right.
And so this restaurant was opened and dedicated to Corporal Frank Robert Gross. We haven't had a grand opening yet, but we will.
Right.
And we'll be very well supported by the veteran community when we do. But that is the impetus behind the restaurant. We built it as a legacy to my son and to all who have served.
Right. Now, let's just make sure everybody at home knows now, Craig didn't just go one day go, hey, I want to get in the restaurant business. You've been in this business for a long time, not just behind the grill and running a restaurant, correct?
Well, I started in the business when I was 13 years old. My uncle owned an Italian restaurant. This is on my mom's side of the family. His name was Eduardo Tarantelli. And he owned an Italian restaurant in New York. And at 13 years old, I got bit by the food bug. And so working with Uncle Eddie, I learned a lot about serving good food, having great service,
right,
the whole 9 yards. And then I eventually became a French cook with the Hilton Hotels. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I was fortunate enough to get into food sales.
Right.
And I did that for several years as well, and eventually retired from Cisco Food Services. So total, I've got right now about 53 years experience in the food business.
Yeah, see, so it's not something new, which is awesome. He's awful skinny for a guy that owns a restaurant, I'm just saying. So I don't know how, you always say, don't trust a skinny cook. So, but as when you run one, it's a whole different.
Yeah. Well, I get 11,000 or more steps in that kitchen every day.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah.
You're
constantly moving and grooving.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Patriot's Bar and Grill. So what's the menu here?
Well, we're known for our smoked meats. We have what I think is some of the best brisket in the marketplace. We have chicken. We have pulled pork. We have ribs, and then we have a few items that are not smoked. We have a really good burger. I sell a pizza burger which
A
is
pizza burger.
Yeah, which is something that my Uncle Eddie taught me how to make, and it's very simple, but it's got provolone cheese and marinara sauce on it, and the marinara is made with San Marzano tomatoes, and so it's a very, very good product. And then we have an Italian sausage, and we've added a few other items to the menu. We have Caesar salads.
Right.
We have a house salad. We have Jan's Caesar salad,
Right.
which is it's a Caesar salad with brisket on it.
Right.
And then if they want to have a Caesar salad with chicken, they can have that. And then Friday nights we have a fish fry, which is doing very, very well. And so we have a pretty diverse menu, but for the most part, we're known for our smoked meats.
Now, also, you right before we went on, I said, hey, let's all bring out I just bring out a club sandwich, and you said you got a very well made club sandwich.
Yeah, it's a triple decker. It's called the Patriot Club, and it's got brisket and chicken and a variety of other meats in there, including bacon. And then it's probably a good 5.5, 6 inches high.
So you're saying don't
layer.
go back to work after you eat that.
That's a good. It's a good prior nap.
Prior nip sandwich, right? Exactly. So now, what kind of events do you have going on in Patriots?
Well, we're going to have a lot of veteran-centric golf tournaments
Right.
in the future. We have the Military Order of the Purple Heart, which is probably going to be our first golf tournament here in the very near future. And then we'll have a Gold Star Fathers tournament. We'll have a Blue Star tournament for Blue Star families. Blue Star families are families who have a son or daughter who's currently serving in the military,
Right.
or are in the reserves, or are retired from the military. That's a Blue Star family. And then the Gold Star families who have lost their sons in the war.
Okay.
So most of our golf tournaments have been geared around the veteran community, but that's not to say that anybody can have a golf tournament here.
Right.
And so, and then tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, we have a wine tasting here.
Oh.
And so that's going to be a great event, and people will come in and taste various wines and whatnot, and
Okay.
they'll be able to. With the price of admission and everything, they get to take a bottle of wine home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have a tequila tasting, you need to let me know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you have to be a member to come here and eat?
No, this is a public golf course.
Okay.
The golf course itself is open to the public. The restaurant is open to the public.
Okay, and what's the hours? I mean, is it short hours, or because of the COVID thing, or your normal hours?
Actually, our hours here on Sunday we're open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
Monday the bar is open, and we just have a limited menu on Monday. Hot dogs on the grill, and then we have some pre-made sandwiches and these type of things. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 to 8.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday we're open 11 to 9.
Wow.
Now
Okay.
those hours, the Friday and Saturday night hours will change as we start bringing in some entertainment.
Right.
And we'll have music either out on the patio,
Mm-hmm.
or we'll have music inside. We've got some great talent, Terry Burke, for example,
Okay.
Locally. So we'll bring in some bands and some, individuals or whatever, duets or whatever. And so Friday and Saturday night, we're looking to beef up our bar
Right.
business.
So there's an actually outside patio.
Yes, yeah, we have capacity inside to seat 150, but right now with the restrictions, we can seat 75.
Okay.
And we, it'll be very comfortable for the wine tasting tomorrow night, because we probably won't have more than 40 people for that.
Okay.
We have a wedding this Saturday. There's going to be 50 people at the wedding.
Oh, so you do
And,
weddings?
Yeah. So
That's
we also
awesome.
do the weddings and everything, wedding reception.
Okay.
And we can have a wedding here on property. We have all the facilities and everything to put on a very, very nice wedding out here on the golf course. Yeah, we're pretty multifaceted there.
That's absolutely phenomenal. Now, I noticed, because we shot here almost, and it's kind of funny, we were going through our schedule, we shot here almost a year ago to the date. We were here right before the weekend of the Warrior Games, and this has really completely changed in here. I mean, I remember before over there where there were dart machines and pinball, or there was games. You've kind of taken that out and actually gone to more of a pure adult style restaurant.
Yeah, we want families to come in here and enjoy, a nice meal and everything without all the distractions and the noises of video games and whatnot. And we've created what I think is a very comfortable family atmosphere.
Okay, well, I mean, we got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about, you have a coin challenge.
Yeah, challenge coins.
And everybody's looking at the picture right now, which is really kind of cool. So let's talk about that real quick. I think we have enough time for that.
Well, the challenge coins are interesting. I've met a lot of people in the military, a lot of soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen and everything throughout the United States since my son was killed in action.
Right.
And usually most divisions in the military, they have their own military coin, their own challenge coin. So I've been very fortunate to get several challenge coins. I probably have 200 in my collection.
Yeah, that picture looked like you had a whole lot just for your collection here.
Yeah, and they mean a lot. They mean a lot because that's their way of saying, hey, thank you very much for your son's sacrifice and service to our country. So, we feature those on the wall over there. And then, of course, my son's picture, which is, front and center.
I noticed you have the table set for him, which is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So, okay, with about a minute and a half left, let's tell everybody, where do they find you? What's the address? What's the phone number? And where can they see stuff online?
Okay. The best way to get up here is just come either north on McMullen Booth or south on McMullen Booth, and you're going to take a left or a right on Tarpon Woods Boulevard, and it's 1100 Tarpon Woods Boulevard, Palm Harbor, Florida. And our number here is 727-240-4866.
Awesome.
And
on Facebook?
We are on Facebook, and we're very, very close to getting our website completed, and we'll have that up as well. And
we'll make sure that we update that on your stuff that later down the road when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right, well, with that being said, you got to come here and try this man's food, because I've eaten the food elsewhere. So if that translates over, which I'm pretty sure it does, it's going to be some good eating. And we'll be right back shortly with Richard Kembell-Cook from Experimax, and he'll fix you computers. So everybody needs that today. So we'll be right back after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back. So this next segment we've got going on, if you got a bad computer and you need it fixed, that's the man you want to talk to you right there. I'm telling you right. So now, Richard Kembell-Cook, I got to make sure I get that hyphen in there. When we first got your name, I'm like, okay, I've heard of the name, but I looked at your shirt a while ago and I'm like, I know who you guys are, because you used to be Experimax.
Correct.
Which, for a production guy that's on the road a lot, and when we would have issues with our Mac computers, that's what we used to travel with. We would always find you if we couldn't get to a Apple store.
Correct.
But now you've opened the world up and you're doing both. Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, sure. Well, the company was formed around the whole demand for service for Apple products, because forever Apple was so exclusive. If you ever wanted to have one of their devices worked on, either a phone, a computer, or a tablet, you had to go to the Apple store.
Right.
And if anybody's ever been to the Apple store, as cool as that place is,
it
is a nightmare to get in.
It is a
and out
nightmare.
of. Yeah.
Yep.
So the company formed about 7 years ago to service that demand, and grew like crazy. We're up to about 100 stores now. And the whole idea was to give people an option. So we did that, and to your question, we actually realized that there's a large portion of the market out there, the consumers who like Windows products or Android products, that we should be servicing. And so we decided to change the name to Experimax about a year ago. And we even asked people to ask us about that change, because now we do serve all of those needs as well for repairs and upgrades of Windows devices of any brand.
So what makes you different from all the other computer repair places?
Well, I think first of all, it's expertise in Apple. There are not that many that do it well. And knowing what you're doing in Apple makes a big difference. I think Experimax has evolved over time to become known for not only doing it, but doing it right. And more importantly, doing it with integrity. So we give people choices. We're not trying to just make a quick dollar today. We say, we don't want to earn your business today. We want to earn your business forever.
Right.
So that's the real idea behind the brand.
And that's really good. Because now, are you strictly repair, or do you sell products in house as well?
We do sell products in house. In fact, we have a very nice showroom. In fact, it looks a lot like the Apple Store. If you were to walk in, you would say, this is very similar. Our specialty is actually the pre-owned certified model.
Okay.
So we're not trying to compete with Apple or even Best Buy, for that matter. We're trying to show people a choice that would appeal to someone who might be the type of customer who would buy a certified pre-owned Cadillac or Mercedes-Benz or any other brand of car. We give them an option that you can get a lightly used device, 1 or 2 years old, and save up to 60%.
Right. Okay. So say I've got some Mac, it's an older one, or it's not as fast as I want it to be. Can I trade those in, or do you
Absolutely.
buy them? Do you really?
That's what we do best. A lot of people don't realize that computers, even though they've been used for a little while, still have value. And you can try and sell it out there on eBay if you'd like, but what if you want to get something that is in the store, or something sooner than maybe a month from now?
Right.
Because it takes a while to do that.
It does.
We give people a fair price, and we offer trade-ins for devices if they'd like to trade them in. Or in the case of Apple in particular, and relatively young Windows devices, we'll buy them outright.
Really?
Yeah.
I got some computers in the studio I need to be bringing to you.
Of course, the phones and tablets as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll okay. Well, you don't want a Generation 1 phone.
Well, no. We
Maybe to hang on the wall and go, this is what it used to look like.
Phones are usually relevant for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And then you probably need to think about moving on.
See, I keep telling my wife that. She's like, I need a new phone.
Software advances so quick.
She goes, well, you just bought it 2 years ago. Got to go. Okay, so you do repair, but do you only just repair Apple, or you repair everything now?
No,
right?
in fact, that's where the name change really was started. We realized we needed to repair Windows devices, so we actually became certified in Windows repair, A+ certified in software as well. And so our technicians can not only repair Windows devices, we can upgrade them, and we actually carry a full stock of Windows computers in the store.
Okay.
So you'll see desktops, you'll see laptops, and in the case of Apple, you'll have the phones and tablets.
Okay. Now, do you sell any Windows products?
Well, the Windows products I'm referring to are, the brand could be Dell or Asus or
MSI,
anything, yeah.
right.
But Windows is the operating system that it runs on. So.
All right. So what if my computer is just like, it's not running as best as it could, and I really don't want to get rid of it right now? Can you fix that? Can you work on that?
Great question. It is a great alternative to someone who doesn't really want to go spend $1,000 on a new computer.
Right.
We can actually dramatically improve the performance. And what a lot of people don't know is for the last 40 years or so, computers have been using hard drives for their storage media, which is a disk that spins between 5,000 and 7,000 revolutions per minute. So they're like little gyroscopes. And so after a while, the gyroscopes, if you move them, in particular,
wobble.
like with a laptop, the bearings start to wear down, or the lubricant starts to wear out, and so these things start to slow down and slow down. Ultimately, they just freeze on you. And if you don't back up your data, which is a great point to make to the general population, you could lose everything. So we emphasize that point all the time.
Okay.
And then what has happened since then is that solid state technology has come into play. Think of a thumb drive. And just something you stick into a computer to save some data on. Well, then exponentially multiply the capability of a thumb drive, and now you've got a solid state drive. Those are now replacing hard drives in all of the computers for all the manufacturers. We can take an older computer that had a hard drive and put a solid state drive in that computer, and it'll be literally 5 times faster in retrieving data. And that you'll see that especially when you boot up the computer. Instead of having that little thing going dee 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 in a little circle,
The little spinny.
it just goes and it's booted up just that quick.
That's awesome.
And that's a 5-year-old computer. It feels like a brand new one now.
Right.
At a fraction of the price.
See, and that's the way it's in. So let me ask you this: do you, essentially, you mess with computers and you fix them and you make them faster? You can get rid of all the malware and all that kind of.
We're
crazy
experts
stuff.
at that.
Are you?
It is so common. It would be surprising how common it is. Windows is actually a bigger target because they're about 70% of the market. So all the hackers are going after people who have Windows systems because
Right.
it's just a bigger target.
Right.
Apple can get viruses and malware, but it's much less common.
Right.
We can knock that out very, very economically and get your computer back on track.
So if I'm a small company or a large company, do you actually offer any IT services? Like, will you come on and fix and?
To a limited degree, but we've got a close relationship with a couple of companies that do that very well.
Okay.
And for small companies up to, say, about 50 employees, we can service their needs pretty easily. But when you get to a bigger, you need someone who's got that kind of infrastructure and expertise. But
Right.
I've got very good relationships and would refer them to
Okay.
those folks.
Awesome. What business prefer to use Apple products?
Well, if a business historically has had some need for graphic design or some sort of advertising capability, Apple has some really great products out
Right.
there. So their software kind of drove people to their products. But more importantly, when you're looking at doing a advertisement or some sort of media, you want to be very precise about what you're putting out there to the public. Apple came up with an amazing display. You've heard of 4K TVs, right? Well, Apple came up with a 5K display. So the pixel density is so fine that you literally can't see the pixel with your naked eye.
Right.
That is perfect for someone who's trying to create something to go out to the media or to publish. And so their software and their screens and their capabilities drove people in that direction.
Okay.
And so Apple, who's been innovative for a very long time,
Yes.
has set the standard. Now everybody
Okay.
else is trying to catch up.
And okay, so say I'm say we're a business, right? We're Tampa Bay Multimedia, but I use a lot of my iPads and stuff like that. Can you guys come on site to do any work for us?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got on-call services
Okay.
Monday through Friday, and so just by appointment, let us know, and we'll be happy to come help you out.
Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm gonna throw them a curveball. So did you watch the big announcement last week or the week before from Apple?
Which one are you referring to?
The WWDC 2020, the one where all of a sudden now they're going to be getting away from the Intel world and going into their own. You're going into
Making
their own
chips.
chipsets, right?
Yes, I did.
So what's your opinion on that?
Well, again, they innovate. Apple
Right.
is known from Steve Jobs to the current CEO Tim Cook. They've known for creating a new bar.
right.
So if they're telling you they're going to go in a different direction, just start holding your breath because it's going to be amazing. In fact, Intel better watch what they're doing, because AMD just caught up with them with
Right.
their new chips. Their Ryzen chips are amazing and outperform Intel chips. So Apple's got their eye on AMD, I'm sure, and that will probably be coming out in their future products.
So if there's people out there that want to say, hey, I want to jump over to Mac because it's kind of better. From an editor standpoint, I used to love my Mac.
Yeah.
But when they went to the Intel chips, I was like, okay, great. But now that I'm seeing they're going to go back to that real world. But I want to keep some Windows stuff. You can help set that up as well.
Absolutely. We can do both.
Okay.
So Mac is going to be always sort of the high standard, the top of the line computer.
Right.
They're also a little pricey, but they're made so well. The average life, for example, of a Mac is about 10 years.
Correct.
The average life of a Windows device is about 5.
Right.
So you get what you pay for in the
But
technology world.
if I just want one machine, can you? I think it's called, was it Parallel or Boot Camp?
Yes.
Something like that, where I can keep some of my Windows stuff that I need,
Yeah,
and that
they'll run-
runs to Windows 10, correct?
And that's what people don't sometimes understand. You can actually load Windows on an Apple device.
Right.
And Parallels allows you to switch back and forth. You just need to have some horsepower to run the two simultaneously, and enough RAM. Yeah.
All right. So, got about 2 minutes left. Where are you located at right
We're
now?
actually very close to this golf club here in Eastlake.
Okay.
On McMullen Booth or Eastlake Road. Just
Or
across,
611 for all you people
Yeah.
like me.
just across from the Landsbrook neighborhood in Ridgemore. And so if you know where the Ridgemore Common Shopping Center, there's a Publix and a Varsity Club there. There's
Yep.
also a Starbucks.
Right.
We're literally right next door to Starbucks.
Okay. Perfect. And what are your store hours?
We're open from 9 to 6 Monday through Friday and 12 to 6 on Saturday.
That is absolutely. Now, and your website again?
It's Experimax.com, and we are the Eastlake location. So if you're looking on it, there's a whole list. There's about 100 locations. Choose Eastlake, and our address is right there. And our phone number is 727-287-4697.
See, it can't get any simpler than that. Just run down there. And now, do they need an appointment now to call because of the whole COVID thing? Do you want people to call first?
That's a great question. No, we don't really take appointments like that.
Okay.
It's first come, first serve for the most part. But if you've dropped your phone and you've cracked your screen, we can usually fix that in about an hour.
Okay.
Computers and tablets take a little longer, so we ask for about a day.
About a day, just drop it off and come back and get it
and
later.
we'll call you when it's ready.
All right, so stick around. We got more great guests. We actually have Jan Stephenson, who is an LPGA golfer, as well as one of the owners of this great establishment. And when we bring her back, she's going to talk about what she's been doing. And I think she even got inducted in the Golf Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Which I think I'm right. We'll ask her when she gets here and let her get it. So, go grab some coffee or tea or soda or wine, beer. I don't care, whatever you want to. Stick around, and we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, and we're back. We're back with Miss Jan Stephenson. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, except I'm tired of this COVID thing. So over it.
Amen. So she sat down with me, and I'm like, it's almost been a year to the date when we were here last. And we were here right before the Warrior Games. But you weren't here at that point in time, so you were out traveling or
Yeah, I was
teaching.
playing on the senior tour. Yeah,
right.
on the Legends Tour.
So I'm going to jump right into this first thing. Did I hear that you were inducted to the Golf Hall of Fame?
The World Golf Hall of Fame, yeah, and that's pretty. That's the ultimate.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is, because I've been in obviously the Australian Hall of Fame and then the Legends Hall of Fame, but to get to the World Golf Hall of
Yes.
Fame, and when you're sitting there, because we had it out at Pebble Beach at the U.S. Open, and the night before, the Hall of Famers take you out. And then so they have like a whole table of your closest friends that
Right.
get to be taken out, and I'm sitting there overlooking Pebble Beach, and you've got Jack Nicklaus and Trevino and obviously all the men, and as well as the women, you've got Annika and
Right.
Julie Inkster and Joanne Connor, and you're just like, wow. And they had the biggest attendance of Hall of Famers come, so not just for me. I think it was
for you.
I think
I'm just saying it was for you.
I think it was because it was Pebble Beach, so it was pretty awesome. And it was the ultimate for me. And it's like the cherry on top of my career. It was something, through the years I kept thinking I'd get it because of what I was doing to help the LPGA. And then as they kept changing the rules, I'm like, they're not going by any of that. They're going by just wins. And then finally they okayed all the wins that I'd overseas because
Right.
I was an international player, but I had signed as an American player, so they weren't recognizing my international wins. So they went, this is not fair, because they had another Retief Goosen, who's from South Africa, and they recognized his, and it's like, wait, we better do the same for the
You
women.
got to do it for both.
Yeah,
What's good for the
exactly.
goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
Or gander is good for the goose. Yeah. Something like that, right?
I get it.
Yeah. So, we got here today, and that was Mike. It's like, did you hear? And I'm like, no. He goes, last time you were here, Jan got into the World Golf Hall of Fame. I'm like, well, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is,
So,
and it's
congratulations.
Really, thank you. I mean, it's pretty special. And then they do it every 2 years,
Yep.
and so they said actually the next time, the Hall of Famers, my friends that are in, said that the second time you really get to have fun, because the first one there's so much to do, and
Yeah.
you're so stressed and worrying about your speech and all of the stuff you have to
Right.
do. So I'm going to really actually just went to the Hall of Fame to see my display.
Nice.
Which was great, because that's up in St. Augustine, and it was, and brought back all the memories of, my dad caddied for me, and my mom traveled, and then my brother caddied, so it was very emotional.
Very cool. And so here's a World Hall of Famer, and you're in Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
You bought Tarpon Woods Golf. And so what drove you to buy the golf course here?
I don't know. It's a lot of work. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, my business manager runs it every day,
Right.
and he curses me every day. Because what did we do? What did you do to me? And
Dang it, Jan.
Yeah,
Gosh,
yeah.
but you
Thank
liked
you
me.
so much. Yeah. But as soon as you have some kind of a charity event, once a month I was doing clinics for the military
Right.
when they come in, and the disabled and first responders and military, and when you do a clinic with them and you see how much they love it and how
Right.
much they enjoy it, and they've shown that golf is one of the best sports for people that have been hurt,
Right.
because you can get out there, and no matter what your injury is, you're playing against the golf course and yourself. So it's a lot easier, because it's hard to handicap. When we had the Warrior Games, it was hard to handicap, because somebody may have lost 2 limbs or 1 limb, or one is half
Right.
blind, and it's really hard. So it's great to teach them that they can enjoy the game, and if they like it, if they come back 3 times, then we give them a set of clubs that they can have.
Nice.
So we really try to, and it's been so rewarding for me, because every time I go, I've got so much to do, and then after, they go, well, you need to do like a couple of hours with each of them, and then in the end, I'm still out there, I'm having so much fun
Right,
with them,
right.
and they're like, wow, this is so cool, and it is, and it's very rewarding.
Because you didn't just buy a golf course to go, okay, I own a course. You're actually hands-on.
Yeah.
That's huge. Let's talk about some of that, because you did clinics for young people as well. And so you just, this COVID thing's got to be killing you because you can't get out there and do anything.
I know, and the thing is that junior golf has got some good funding, and it was just that the more I did with the military, you know,
Right.
with David Faraday and his organization, I'm like, you know, they really appreciate it, you know, and it is so cool to see them have so much fun with it, you know, and the camaraderie they have, you know, when they're out playing together. Even when we were getting ready for the Warrior Games, if one of them was struggling, they all would kind of get there and help him, you know, and
Right.
say, that's okay, don't worry about that. And it was really, really neat to see that, because I'm so competitive that they were competitive, but they didn't take it to the next level,
Right.
which I really liked. That they knew this was about, you know, recovering and rehab, and so that part of it was different for me to see.
Okay. Now, so with all this going on, and I know you guys are, I know you're a big event driven. I mean, there's a lot here. So what's coming up? What's going on with you for the golf course?
Well, we've got a lot of charity events, all pushed obviously to the
Right.
fall, and you know, so we haven't done much this summer. I mean, we keep hoping that it'll change, but it's so hard because when you're teaching, especially with, you know, like especially with a lot of the I represent a company called ISPS Honda, which is about the blind and disabled.
Okay.
But when we have the blind come out, you've got to put them in the positions because they can't see when you're telling them something.
Right.
You actually have to. So we've had to cancel all of that. So I'm hoping as it gets further along that we can have those again, because it's like I said, it's so rewarding. But we have a lot of charity events coming up in November, so hopefully
Right.
we can have those.
Now let's talk about let's bring your website up real quick. You have this charity foundation you started, the Crossroads Foundation. Let's kind of dig into that real quick. When did this I didn't know about this.
Well, you know, I had a Crossroads. It's been in existence for quite a while, and I said, and first of all, it was for the juniors, and then we started helping with an orphanage and kids, and then we did a home for abused women and children where they could feel comfortable. So we bought a house, and each room would be like their home, and then we had a common kitchen, and I started realizing that, you know, some of these kids, it was a crossroads in their life. They could have gone one way or the other. And
Right.
one of them, I actually was speaking at a luncheon for charity, and one of the wives came up, and she had this, you know, nice young man. He was probably in 22. And she said, do you remember us? And I remembered her, but I didn't remember because he was only like 13 at the
Yeah.
time. And she said he was one of the kids that was in the home and had been with gangs and was having problems. And we came and moved him into the house with us. And he just is in medical school right now. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
And I got goosebumps. I was
What
like,
a testimony that is.
it was worth it. Just all of the work that we've done. You know, Mike and Diana Van Diver have done a lot of the work for me. It was that part of it right there. I mean, I just get goosebumps when
Yeah.
I saw this young man that could have gone the other way. So, you know, it used to be Jan for Juniors, and then that crossroads, literally crossroads in their life, could have gone one way or the other,
Right.
and he went that way. And so after that, I was totally committed to helping people that really needed it.
That is so. If I'm a viewer at home, how can I help you?
Well, if you go to Tarpon Woods or you can go to the Jan Stephenson Crossroads Foundation, and Eve just coming out here and supporting the golf, because proceeds of it all are the ones that help with our clinics. Right now, I'm trying to raise enough money to get the bunkers in better, because a lot of these kids that come out, especially with the military, you know, a lot of them have got their lower limbs, and it's hard to get in and out of the bunker.
Right.
We've got the solar riders for them to play golf, and they can't get in the bunkers because they're designed the old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
and they can't get back out. So
Right.
I want to have it where they can get back in. I've tried to lower their military tees for them so that they're flat, so they have no problems. But that's something I really want to do before the winter.
That is okay. So I was always under the impression that this was a private club.
Back in the old days, it was.
Okay.
This was the place to
Oh,
come
yeah.
to in the
Yeah.
80s. But since we've taken, and you know, when we took it over, I don't know, well, Mike hasn't probably told you the story. I don't know if he did a year ago, but I was out of state playing in a Legends event when Mike called and said, we have an opportunity to get this golf course really cheap. And I'm like, well, what's it like? He said, it's in really bad condition.
Right.
And I went, oh, okay. So I flew in and he said, let's play the course and see what you think. And when we got done, I said, you have lied to me. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I said, you said it was really bad. It's way worse than that. And I'm like, I don't think we've got enough money to fix this, because it was a sand pit.
Yeah.
The irrigation system didn't work. It had been neglected. I mean, you know, you can see all of this. There was 2 lights that worked in the whole place.
Oh, wow.
So it was, and I'm like, I don't know what we can do. The air conditioning didn't work. Everything was filthy. And so we have, you know, we should have actually been taking pictures of the transformation as we
Yeah.
go, because you have no idea what it was like. And I had to pull strings to call all my friends that were in the, you know, in the golf course business and say, hey, can you donate? And, you know, can you do this? And so,
Right.
and our pro shop, you know, I mean, that is probably, if you go in there, I mean, we have some kind of crazy stuff. I call it the Cracker Barrel of golf course.
I actually
pro shop.
like it, to be honest with you. I've been in there. I'm like, this is some cool stuff.
I know, but have you seen the prices? I mean, the prices are so. I've begged
Yeah.
everybody to give it to us at wholesale.
Right.
And when we do actually quite well, and all that obviously that is donated goes back to the course or for the military. So it's been fun. I mean, we've collected all these golf clubs for them, and so when I come here, you know, every time I think, oh, I've got to go to work, and then when I get here, I get all energized, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So now, you know, so if you're at home watching, or you're in the office watching, or you're driving watching, don't do that. It's great that this is it's an open.
Yes, it's
golf
it's a
course.
golf course. It's
So anybody
public.
can play.
Anybody can play. It's a public golf course.
That is absolutely, and I've already checked the fees out, which are like, you need to charge more.
Well, as soon as I get the golf
I'm
course in
just
better
saying,
shape, I
right.
will. But the good thing is a piece of that does still go back to the military as well. So
See, even just playing a round of golf puts some money back into that chair.
yes,
That is absolutely phenomenal. And Miss Jan, I really appreciate you being on My Chamber TV and sitting here with me. And I know we're eating up your space, so we're trying to get it done as quick as we
Oh,
can.
that's okay.
All right, everybody, stick around. We got Doug coming from the Chamber, Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. I want to make sure I'm right. And he is part of business development. And he's got some really exciting news on what's going on, the whole 9 yards. But remember, if you're hungry, especially that club sandwich I heard about.
Oh, my
the
God.
Patriot. Oh,
Yes, the Patriots
Lord have
Club.
mercy.
we
that
can
is-
see the Jan salad's pretty good if you're on a diet.
so you have a Jan salad. Yeah. So we're going to tease something. So we're going to do another spot with her, not today, but later down the road. This nice lady has gotten into spirits, and I'm not talking about the ones that fly around and scare you. I'm talking about the ones you can drink, because you actually have your own wine label as well as your own distributor now, correct?
Yes, I have a distributor. I have a liquor and wine distributorship in Oldsmar.
Okay.
And but I own a little piece of the distillery, so I've got some fun stories to talk to you about that. And they do have spirits there. We have a ghost there.
Oh, I have a show for you that we do. All right, with that, stick around. We'll bring Doug back, and we'll have a good time. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, we're back, and you know what? We got the man with the plan, Mr. Doug Bevis. Now, you have a very long title at the chamber.
Yeah.
Jerry was just business development, but you got it's like this.
Yeah, let me look and see what it means. I don't really.
So you are the director of business and government affairs, which makes sense because you were the mayor of
Oldsmar. Yeah.
right? So you kind of have your hand on that pulse,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Try and be that liaison, I guess, if you will, between the city and the chamber and all the municipalities.
There are a lot of chambers that are missing that element.
Yeah.
and I think that's the thing about the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce is, you guys you've always had a good relationship with the government there. So
I really, especially this day and age, it's really important to have those relationships.
Yep.
Having been the former mayor, Mayor Seidel is now the current mayor, does a great job. But I served on the board of directors of the PSTA, the Suncoast Transit Authority, Forward Pinellas.
Right.
I was the mayor of the Mayor's Council. A lot of people don't know that Pinellas County has 24 cities within Pinellas County. So from a community affairs and public relations and government affairs, it's nice to know all the people. Another interesting piece that I always harped about, and we're in Tarpon Springs / Palm Harbor right now, but there are really only, and I was on a call with the tourist development director yesterday, there are only 4 cities north of Ulmerton Road. Sorry, Clearwater. I know they're a city north of Ulmerton Road, but they're really a tourist destination.
Right,
so
right.
if you look at Tarpon Springs, Oldsmar, Dunedin, and Safety Harbor, you only really have 4. That means you have 23 south of Ulmerton Road.
Right.
So a lot of the focus is on there. So we really try and point to some of the great businesses that are up here. At one today. Thank you for making me follow LPGA golfer Jan Stevens. Stevenson.
She is so awesome. I'm just absolutely, and I got tickled that I got to interview her.
Yeah,
so I'm really good with that.
Yeah, she's great. So, but we got a lot of great things up here. The Valspar Golf Tournament is up here. Oldsmar has the USA Olympic style BMX track that's there. The beach is great. Don't get me wrong, we love that. It brings a lot of people. There are a lot of other things that people want to do.
Way more
Zip
things
lining
to
in
do.
Oldsmar. There's a lot of non-beach things because it does rain. What did they say? Like 12 days out of the year or something that we,
something like that.
So at any rate, but yeah, so it's kind of nice to have that connection to all those municipalities and all the elected officials. The county commissioners.
And now that the wagon wheel is no longer, Oldsmar Flea Market is going to be a big deal.
And they I can't remember the name of it. The one up on 54 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
they closed one up that way.
52.
Too.
Yeah,
52.
that one closed. That closed as well. So Oldsmar's it.
Yeah,
Kinda,
and unfortunately, the pandemic is really affecting those things because of social distancing. And when you go to the flea market, you're there for a different reason.
Yeah, you're not there to be safe and help. I mean, it's safe. Don't get me wrong. I'm not to say it that way, but you're there to you're scrounging for deals.
You're looking
so
for a deal.
you're going to go through some little funk to get to it.
Yeah. You're there for an elephant ear, a moon pie, a cold beer,
corn dog.
Yeah, corn dog.
And their French fries are some of the best you're ever going to have.
Yeah. So that's one of the staples of Oldsmar.
Yeah.
I was looking back at some former mayor. Jerry Beaverland, our historian, posted a lot of pictures of a lot of the history of Oldsmar. Obviously, I'm going to ask you this on the spot. The name where Oldsmar came from, right?
Came from the car manufacturer.
Ransom E. Olds, the founder of the Oldsmobile. It's amazing not only how many people live in Oldsmar that don't know that, but how many people in general don't know that. And sadly, we talked about having a museum for the Oldsmobile. And sadly,
people
today,
go, well, why?
And the kids today, if you had a Tesla museum,
they would be all in it. Yep.
Yeah, but they don't. You have to talk to your mom or your dad or your grandparents, and then they can tell you about the 8-track tape player and and all those things that you can find at the flea market.
Exactly.
But
so how is the business? How are the businesses in Oldsmar doing in the Upper Tampa area that you represent with the COVID?
Strangely enough, adjusting well. It's very fluid, so we're definitely trying to keep them informed on what the current regulations are, the emergency orders that get extended, the face mask, the social distancing, the cleaning. One of the things that we had a conference call with the chamber with a lot of the restaurants, and the one thing that we impressed, and this is really any business, is I was just in the kitchen here at Patriot's Barbecue. Super clean,
I noticed that earlier.
And we talked about this when we were at Beechwood the other day. What's the thing where did you go?
Oh,
into
the
into the bathroom.
The bathroom and the bathroom here is super clean.
Yeah.
I mean, and actually, it's a golf club.
Yeah.
So it's set up differently than a number of, but yeah.
I mean, those are the things. And to that point, basically, we've told the businesses that you need to share that information, because if people feel comfortable going in there, then, and I think that's one of the things I kind of joking yesterday with a friend. I said, I think hopefully restaurants and bars are going to find out that maybe they didn't do as good of a job in the past, so we probably should have been doing these things, because everybody's talking about, what is the takeaway, and everybody's got their own political opinion. I have one that might not be the same as yours or anybody else's, but we still got to do what's best. I just picked up 5,000 face masks that were going to be a distributorship for the chamber for Pinellas County. So if you do need one, and we're not there to provide hundreds of them for businesses, but if you need one, you can stop by the chamber and get those Monday through Friday, 9 to noon. So those are some of the things.
So you guys have shortened your hours?
That's just we're there, but that's just we have other business that we have to do, like setting up chamber TV, and getting all that. But back to your question. People are doing well.
Good.
I think there's going to be some businesses that, as with anything, businesses are just not going to make it.
Right.
I think there's some businesses that, even in a normal world, we wonder how they have survived. You drive up and down US 19, and I do this all the time. I'm like, how do all these businesses survive?
Right.
And so, but they're doing well. They really appreciate the relationship between our great chamber. And it's not, what's interesting is, and I've talked to one of the county commissioners, Commissioner Eggers, and so often you hear that the chambers are Tarpon Springs, and this is, I'm not calling any, but they're specific to a city, Dunedin, Safety Harbor.
Right.
They're specific. We're the upper Tampa Bay because we are on the county line.
That's
so we
right.
do bleed over into West Chase a little bit, and so we're really the upper Tampa Bay. We get into Eastlake.
You were literally you're answering the question I was getting ready to say. Okay, so we've never talked about this. What does the upper Tampa Bay? What's the
footprint?
Yeah, what is the footprint?
The footprint gets into town and country a little bit, and it gets up into West Chase, obviously Eastlake Woodlands, which a lot of people, interestingly enough, Eastlake Woodlands has the 34677 zip code, which is Oldsmar, and they go, oh, I live in Oldsmar, and I'm like, oh, why did you move? Because you live in Eastlake Woodlands. Well, Eastlake Woodlands is not technically part of the city limits.
It's Tarpon, right?
And the chamber
Harbor.
gets into some of Palm Harbor, and things like. We really will try and help anybody. The Chichi Rodriguez golf course is you've had him on, and
We shot from there.
Yeah, shot from there, and another great charity. They're part of the chamber.
They're
and
awesome.
That's one of the other things that this chamber has really done through its board of directors and trustees is really embraced nonprofits. They don't really have a voice a lot, and they're looking through avenues like this. You just had the nonprofit on here. We've had one every month. They're looking for any kind of exposure that they can get.
They need it.
Yeah,
They need it.
and we've had Mike Sutton on from Habitat for Humanity.
Love
I know
Mike.
you know him.
Yep.
They do some great work. So those are some of the things that we do. Chamber TV.
And you're also big in the manufacturing world.
That's
which is so unusual for a chamber.
Yeah.
Because your predecessor Jerry would always bring these, and I'm like, I never knew you were here.
It's interesting how many people don't really realize, So, and I might be embellishing these numbers a little bit,
I'll embellish away.
but nobody's going to fact check me, are they? So, but our nighttime population, basically residents, is about 15,000 people, but our daytime population is 65,000. So,
Wow.
more people actually on a typical day travel Tampa Road than they do the Courtney Campbell Causeway, believe
Yes.
it or not. And it's the only land connection to Hillsborough County. But to your point, we have hundreds of manufacturers in Oldsmar, and when the economy went in the tank, thank God for our manufacturers, because they still continued to produce
Yeah.
things. And if you ever watch, what is it called, How It Was Made, you
Yes.
know, and all like
A
the
lot
ice
of
cream
it-
machine,
I
a lot of those
can't-
machines are made in Oldsmar.
I started because that's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And I started looking. I'm going, and then I'd look at the read the credits.
Yeah.
Oldsmar.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oldsmar, 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 Oldsmar.
OL Products is one of the largest distributors of tanning products in all of Europe.
Yeah.
And they're right there on Tampa Road
Yep.
across from 7-Eleven. How they package and do yogurt and ice cream, the machines themselves are made right there. So Lockheed Martin is
Yeah.
right there. One of our big partners is Nielsen, the ratings company, is right in Oldsmar. So we're blessed, really, to have such a great geographic location.
You
with
never
the
know
city.
it's in what sits in your own backyard until you get out there and actually look.
We do an event called We Mean Business, where the mayor, when I was mayor, we did it, the current mayor, the Chamber of Commerce, and we go to 3 businesses. We've kind of put it on hold because of the pandemic. We
Yeah.
don't want to get into people's space, but we go to 3 businesses in Oldsmar. We go everything from a pawn shop to, medical tubing with microlumen and everything in between. And when we leave there, it never fails. We look at ourselves and we go, Jesus, that's right here in Oldsmar,
Right here.
right.
Right.
In the city of Oldsmar. So
I'm gonna interrupt you
Yeah,
because
'cause
we've
I'll-
only got about a minute left. We have something going on here. Let's talk about that. Real
it's
quick.
called the Scavenger Hunt. It's going on from July 10th, which is coming up. Well,
Yeah.
actually, July 10th to December 11th. And it's a chance for businesses to get involved. We have over 100 businesses, and what you do is you get a passport. And so our passports, you then go to the 100 businesses, you check in with the
Right.
business, we take a picture, social media.
Yeah.
It's a chance for us to really, as part of this pandemic, to get people back out to the businesses.
Right.
And not just restaurants, all
No.
kinds of businesses.
All kind of
and so you go
businesses.
out, then we do an awards thing at the end of the year. And for every time you get a punch, you get, entered in. And,
Right.
there's different stages that you do, but a lot of great prizes. You can become a sponsor, but the chamber has them, $20 to get a passport. And it's really a great, I don't know if you know this or not, but we like partying and we like drinking
No,
beer.
I would have never known that.
So
with
every chance we
Oktoberfest.
have, we get to do that. utbchamber.com
Okay.
is how you can find us and get all the information. And it's awesome. I mean, the chamber's great. Microlumen, Nielsen, all of
here.
them, they're all right
That's
there.
so cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching today. We appreciate it. Check out this chamber, man. If you're not a part of it, I'm telling you, you need to be a part of it because they like to have a good time, but they're serious about business, which is actually really what we need in today's culture. And then this whole pandemic, I hate the word new normal, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody next week.